No, you're right? Then go ahead. This was a saying that my grandfather, affectionately known as Chief Rob, would always tell me. He'd end every call with, no, you're right? Then go ahead. For a while, I thought that this was more a reflection of his own inner anxiety about the world around him. But over time, I see it as a reminder to stand up for what you believe in, know you're right, to make your voice heard, and then to take action. Go ahead. It's a call to our own inner agency and hope. Chief Rob was born and raised in the small town of Hawk Run, Pennsylvania, just north of Phillipsburg. He left at the age of 17, joined the Navy, where he ultimately retired as Chief Petty Officer, hence the name Chief Rob. He returned back to the area, went to Penn State, earned his education degree, and worked at a local Votech school. Now, he and his wife, Edith, they were true Penn Staters. They never missed a home football game, with the exception of one. I made the unfortunate and unforgivable mistake of first being born in Ohio, and second, being born a few days before a home football game. As my grandmother stayed with my mom after I was born, she told her, "Don't you plan on having any more kids in the fall?" That was the one and only game that she missed before she passed away in 2010. Now, Chief Rob, he was famous for painting his bald head with paw prints, expertly crafted by my grandma. For decades, he'd lead cheers on the west side of the stadium, often finding himself on the Jumbotron. In true Penn State fashion, they had that classic pre- and post-game tailgates. In the sea of RVs and tents, their tailgate would stand out. It'd always have an abundance of food, from your classic hot dogs and hamburgers to an elaborate spread of homemade dishes. Each Penn State football game and tailgating was a time to come together and break bread with friends, family, and alumni. Know you're right? Then go ahead. This was a motto that Chief Rob lived by, whether it was cheering on the Nittany Lions, or serving his country, or simply helping out his neighbors. He was a staple in his small community, whether it was recruiting a physician to practice in a small town, or helping to motivate the students at the Votech school to complete their degrees. Fast forward 70 years since Chief Rob left his hometown. I returned back to the area, practiced as an internal medicine physician, and also to teach our medical students. I found myself directing the Line Mobile Clinic, a student-supported free clinic that provides healthcare and resources to underserved populations. The genesis of this clinic was the unfortunate closure of a medical clinic just north of us in Snowshoe, Pennsylvania. Snowshoe had been hit hard, and in a span of about a year, it lost its grocery store, its hardware store, its bank, its pharmacy, and then finally its medical clinic. And a true testament to our students and faculty, we rallied and figured out a way to provide at least basic healthcare resources to that community in the back of a customized RV, much like the ones you see tailgating out in the fields on Saturdays. Now, on this particular Saturday, we had been able to spread our reach to different locations. And on this particular Saturday, I'd found myself in Chief Rob's hometown. We were planning to help out at a food distribution event and then be there for any healthcare needs. It happened to coincide with a home football game. And just like any typical Saturday, there was a certain excitement in the air. And as we left town, you could already see grills firing up and the community enjoying food and festivities. As we made the 30-minute drive to the event, we arrived around 9 a.m. and were greeted by over 50 cars, some of which had been there since 5 a.m., just for a box of food. By the end of the event, over 200 cars had gone through that line. The juxtaposition of this scene with the festive tailgating parties highlighted the stark realities of food insecurity and health disparities that exist right here in our region, right here in our backyard. I met a guy who we'll call Roger. Roger entered our customized RV looking despondent. He's 80 and has been encountering challenges that he never expected in his life. Worried about his legacy, he sees his property, his livelihood, and his health slipping away. He lives alone in a house that's at risk of being condemned. He's been battling with the township and doesn't know what he'll do without a roof over his head. His pride and joy, his son, died from an opioid overdose, and Roger's never fully recovered. Health is secondary to him. He's been self-medicating with a supplement that he purchased from a television advertisement, hoping that it'll reverse the effects of life on his mind and body. Roger's depressed, though knowing this, the prospects of treatment are not within his mental model. This is the grim reality, not just of Roger, but of millions across our state and across our country. In rural communities, this isn't just a crisis of health, it's a crisis of opportunity, a slow motion erosion of the very fabric of life. Like Roger, millions are suffering from a mental health epidemic. And yet, 65% of these communities don't have access to a psychiatrist. Prevention, it's an afterthought, with mortality rates double for preventable cancers. Making the situation even worse, the rapid closure of hospitals and clinics are going across the landscape, despite the fact that 1 in 12 jobs in rural communities are based in the healthcare industry. With the disappearance of these vital institutions, jobs disappear, businesses shutter, and the very foundations of communities crumble. We have a crisis ongoing in rural communities. Looking at Roger, I couldn't help but think of my grandfather. No, you're right, then go ahead. What Roger needed was to find his voice again, to find a sense of agency and hope. Yet the weight of these systemic challenges had left him voiceless, unable to extricate himself from a life of despair. Some of my fondest memories of Chief Rob were on those brisk fall Saturdays, tailgating outside of the stadium. And I can't help but think about the ritual of tailgating goes beyond the game itself. It's a cherished tradition. It's a ritual that defines the Penn State experience for many of us. We are a community that is bound by shared experiences. Tailgating brings us together, fosters a sense of belonging, collaboration, shared resources with one mission: to cheer on those Nittany Lions. Nothing quite encapsulates it more than the "we are" cheer. And I do have to say, I think we've got a pretty good argument that nobody tailgates better than Penn Staters. We tailgate with the best is a shirt you'll often see on those football Saturdays. What if we were all able to leverage that "we are" spirit and use it as a tool to tackle some of these ongoing crises in the communities around us. As part of the Lion Mobile Clinic, we ascribe by this method known as tailgate medicine, where in any truck, RV, or vehicle, we literally drop the tailgate, pop the trunk, or open the door and provide whatever we can to those around us. In a sense, we take tailgating on the road. In terms of healthcare, it's health education, it's screening for chronic medical conditions, it's providing primary care to those without health insurance. But we can do so much more when we leverage the resources of the community around us. This includes delivering food to those that can't access it. It means fixing a broken stair to prevent a fall. It means connecting people to financial resources that need it. But more importantly, it's about creating a physical and consistent presence in the communities that we serve. We sit, we listen, we learn, we strategize, we collaborate. We try and think and problem solve beyond healthcare. We're just scratching the surface. Now imagine this. It's a crisp autumn Saturday in a small rural town. Instead of the roar of Beaver Stadium, you hear the laughter of children playing. You hear the sound of music. You smell the aroma of freshly cooked, nutritious food. It's a Penn State tailgate, but not as you know it. Parked in a town square, our specially equipped, customized, and purpose-built vehicles create a dynamic hub. Vehicles serve as a healthcare clinic, a grocery store, a classroom, community resource center. Penn State students and faculty are conducting health screens, providing educational workshops, and working alongside community members to address their unique needs. A grandmother receives a much-needed mammogram. A young farmer learns about the latest agricultural techniques, and children receive free dental care. Resources like food are delivered directly to those that need it most. This connection to Penn State's expertise and resources can be the spark that transforms change in those communities. This is what we're attempting to do with the Lion Mobile Clinic initiative. Although the true power in initiatives like this lie in the spirit of coming together, sharing an experience, sharing a community tailgate, and collaborating towards better health for all. It's about providing hope and agency to those that have lost so much. What I believe in is that the true power of Penn State is not just in our research or our athletics, but our ability to leverage this we are spirit with communities and use it as a tool to affect change. Just as we come together and cheer on the Nittany Lions, we can come together to support our neighbors, to fight for better health, and to build a brighter future. This isn't just about providing services. This is about empowering the community. We as Penn Staters, we're leaders, we're innovators, we're problem solvers. We have the knowledge and the skills, and more importantly, the passion to make a real difference. Today, this is a call for us all to leverage the Penn State community and use it to make a lasting change in those communities around us. Know your right, make our voice heard, take action, and go ahead. Let's roll up our sleeves, get involved, and use our collective strength to build a healthier, more equitable future for all Pennsylvanians. Thank you.